Hey guys, hope you're doing good. So, when I went to Miami, I linked up with a good friend of mine whose name is Elijah. It was the first time meeting him. But we linked up, got in a podcast studio, and started shooting the shit, right? So, I wanted to release the footage of the session that we had. I believe we talked about some amazing stuff. So, if you'd like to learn more about his journey, his perspective, he's currently running an e-commerce agency, but also is a partner on a few brands. Well, then check out the video and enjoy. Ciao.
We can start off with natural born leader. For those who owe it to themselves to become great. What does that mean to you?
So, I think like 4 years ago, it was like around, after work at my 9 to 5. I was thinking about getting a tattoo, and I was thinking about what should I get? And that day, I figured out what I wanted to get. And it was, so I have a tattoo in my back that says that I owe it to myself to be great. And yeah, a few years later, I just decided that, you know what? I think it would be an amazing brand. I don't actually push it. I just have it. I have a few pieces that I wear.
Yeah.
But I don't really push it. I don't market it.
Like, what was the thought process getting to you owe it to yourself to be great? Like, what did it just pop up in your head that easily, or like what was that process to get to that?
No, I feel like it's more like like I just wanted to, the song cost fallacy, where you've invested so much that you don't actually get out because you're like, oh, I don't want to lose all the effort, all the money that I've invested. Well, I feel like getting a tattoo for me was like I was trying to, induce that fallacy. Like, if I tattoo it on myself, like it's happening.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's probably why it's happening. You see what I'm saying?
I like that. Yeah.
So for me, like, I don't necessarily have a lot of tattoos. I have 2 of them, but every tattoo that I put on my back is like, it's like a principle, right? I don't get tattoos because they look good. I just tattoo it on myself. So maybe someday, if someone is like, hey, what helped you get to where you're at? I'll just, take a picture of my back and be like, hey, just stick to these principles and you're good.
I like that.
That's fire. Is it in fire?
That's a bar.
That's a bar. Yeah.
That's a bar.
No, but yeah, man. Yeah, tattoos have been a great way for me. So like, the other one that I have is, I was reading this book. I forgot what it was, but it's a book around everything about information and how information is actually created. A guy, and it's an amazing, fascinating book to me, if you ask me. But he talks about, how did we get to where we're at right now? Like, how did we go from people who were hunting to, in just a few hundred years, go from hunting to like being able to go to Mars, being able to build, electric, cars. And he explained like how knowledge, the way that it works is, once you've figured out the process behind how knowledge like is created, it's like it's exponential, right? So he was explaining, I didn't read the whole book. It's a hard book to read. It's like a workout. But, he was saying that essentially he was just explaining how information works, knowledge, how do we get smarter? How do we think? How do we, figure out if something is true? How do we test knowledge? How do we test everything, really, right? And I read in his book that, he had a quote saying that everything that is not forbidden by the laws of nature is achievable given the right knowledge. And when I read that, I was like, yeah, I need this on my back. I need it.
I usually hear people, oh, I'm going to get a tattoo because that really means a lot to me, right? I hear that pretty often, but I can't say that I've heard too often, I'm going to get a tattoo of something to like make it a part of my reality, like to make something come true. That sort of angle. I don't hear that as often, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean,
you know, that's not 100% in your case, like getting a tattoo to make it,
yeah.
you know.
But I feel like it kind of is because, you know, a lot of people, they don't really understand that, like, success is all about, it's because there's so much information out there, right? So if you want to be successful, you cannot, it's impossible to remember everything about everything. Like, if I had implemented on everything that I know today,
Yeah,
like, I would not be on this podcast. I would be somewhere in Italy drinking wine with someone's daughter,
someone important though.
someone important, someone that I love, and, you know, but I'm not there yet because why? Because I forget. So it's like, what if you could tattoo the things that, like, you want to remember, and yeah, for me, you know, I haven't yet found the next principle, but when I do, I'll get another tat.
I like that angle to getting meaningful tattoos. Usually it's first level with people, like getting meaningful tattoos. Like, oh, I really like that quote that got me through a hard time or
Yeah.
something like that.
Or
But
they,
it's, hey,
or they get a flower.
yeah, oh, I really like that flower. It represents my dog. It's cute. But like rarely do I hear something like that. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Should we talk about why we're doing this podcast?
I mean, we're doing this podcast. It's a conversation, but
We're
put stuff out there.
yeah,
For someone who's watching this is going to need to see this. Literally. At that time, this is what they need to see. Something a part of this. Like it's going to come about, but it's going to be super valuable to someone.
yeah, 100%.
That's what.
The goal is to just, you know, share with you guys some stuff that we've learned along our journey. And because for me, you know, one of the things that I've always had a hard time with is it's like being in proximity of a lot of success, right? And, you know, right now I'm in Miami. I'm from Montreal, Canada. And, you know, I don't necessarily, I mean, there is definitely some wealth in Montreal, but not like at a crazy young age, right?
Yeah.
So maybe the goal with this podcast is, you know, just for us to share with, you know, with you guys our journey so that, you know, you guys can maybe just relate. Because, you know, if you can see someone who's just like you do what you want to achieve,
Changes the world.
oh my God.
Your mind just grows so much.
Yeah.
That's what was huge for me. Like growing up, I grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
And Detroit's pretty rough. And not only is it rough, just what you're exposed to is not in alignment with where I want to go,
Yeah.
right? So just seeing someone who I can relate to doing something that I want to do, that was super powerful. And where I found that was YouTube. Like just seeing people who were younger, oh wow, he's not that much older than me, but that's what he's doing. I want to do that. And
Yeah.
just seeing someone who's closer in my age, or just someone who I can, someone who I can relate to.
Yeah.
Maybe not so much in age. Maybe they're 4 years older than me, but they dropped out of school or they grew up in a rough household. Something
Mhm.
that I could hold on to, like relate to.
Yeah.
And seeing them doing something that I want to do, it's just not only knowing it's possible, but it becomes real. Like, oh wow, I really believe that's possible. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah. It kind of like removes risk, right? Because
Yeah.
if you're the first one to, I think there's even this quote in, you know, in business books where it's like, you know, being the first one is probably not a good idea. Like you shouldn't like you shouldn't go into an industry and be like, so there is this, you know, the blue ocean strategy where you go into markets and you just start something new. But it's like sometimes that's not a good idea, because it's like, well, you're going to be the first one. All the risks are on you, all the marketing, all the messaging, all the framing, you have to do it for that market, right? But if you just come in and you start selling the same thing that someone else is selling, you just do it better, then the market is already proven. You know, there's product market fit. You know, there's, you know, market validation. So it's like when you see someone who's just like you or who has had the same path, same desires as you succeed, it kind of is like, oh wow, there is that market validation or that success validation in this. You know,
Yeah.
I've never thought about it that way, but I just thought of it right now. But
Yeah,
I guess.
that's real. Like that's stuff that not exactly the same, but the principles of what you just said is what I say every day. Like people who are trying to get into e-commerce or they're trying to do drop shipping.
Yeah.
And they're trying to find this obscure like hidden gem product. Why not just sell something that you know people want already? Something that's already selling. How about that?
Yeah.
And that's basically what you're saying. Like, why go into it? It can work, but why work that hard when you don't have to?
Yeah.
Just identify something that's already working. And the easiest way to identify if something is already working is if someone's doing it successfully, right? And just build off of that, shortcut the process, and just do it better.
Easy money.
There's a drop shipping strategy on YouTube basically saying that. Go look it up.
Should we talk about what we do?
Yeah. I mean, okay. In summary, what do you do? How would you describe Serge?
Yeah. We'll probably go back a little bit, but just a summary, what I do is I make it unreasonable for people running service businesses online not to succeed and scale past 50K to 100K a month.
Perfect.
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah. Me, I'm in the e-commerce space specifically. We build and scale multi-million-dollar e-commerce brands. I run a marketing agency. Obviously, on that side, we're working with existing brands, but I've always been interested in e-commerce. Just the idea of transactions online and just e-commerce is selling products online. So I was just deeply invested in that. So that comes the other side.
What got you first in ecom? Like, when did you start?
There's two answers to that. Like, as soon as I figured out e-commerce was a thing, I was just aggressively trying to chase it and figure it out. So I would say, like, that point when I learned about it and, really dove deep into the research side of things and trying to experiment with things on my own, it was like 8th grade of middle school, so last year. And that was actually when I made my first store.
How old were you?
So you're 14 in 9th grade, right? 13 or 14. So like 13, 12 or 13.
Jesus
like
Christ.
That. But,
really?
Yeah, and I got a sale, which was super exciting. It didn't work after that, but, I still have the ad on my phone.
From that first store?
Yes. Of course I do.
I remember because, before getting into the consulting space, agency space, I tried drop shipping.
Yeah.
And I had a sale while I was at the gym. I made $19. I swear to God, it was the best $19 that I made the sale, looked at my phone, I was squatting, just doing some reps. And I checked my phone and I saw this, the Shopify, notification. And I looked at it. I looked at my phone and I looked at everyone.
Yes.
And I was like, yeah, I'm rich now.
It's game over.
Watch
out, world.
Like, watch out, guys. I looked at everyone at the gym. I was like, yo, you guys don't know what's coming.
You got an ecom millionaire in the room. And you don't even know.
Yeah, show me
that first sale was life changing. Like, this was literally my first ad.
What's written on it?
So it was a melanin cap. Yeah. And I paid for a shout out. It was like an African Instagram page or something like that. I paid them for a shout out. They posted it on their story because it was cheap and I was broke. I was literally a kid. So, put it on their story for like 6 hours or something like that. I got a sale immediately and that was it. For the whole remainder of the 6 hours, I didn't get anything else, but I clung on to that first sale. I was like, oh, it works.
Yeah.
That was enough proof of concept.
To just get you fired up.
Yeah. And then from then, it was failure after failure after failure. And then...
Why did you fail?
There's a lot of reasons why. Just trying to apply too many different things, to be honest, instead of just having an actual strategy.
Yeah.
I was taking like 5% of this strategy, mixing it with another 3% and another 0.5%. It wasn't an effective approach that I was taking to e-commerce, essentially. So
yeah, The reason why I asked that question is because I've realized that you don't have to fucking fail.
No, you actually don't. You don't. Like,
You don't.
the only shortcut, like, there are no shortcuts, obviously, but if you learn from someone who's already successful at something,
Yeah.
that's the easiest path of least resistance. You're literally learning from someone who's already
100%.
successful. Why not just follow what they tell you?
Yeah, because I see a lot of people, you know, who are just starting something new and they're like, oh, I'll figure out myself. And I'm like, well, cool. That's great. But like they don't understand that there is a currency that we can't get more of. You know, money we can, oh my God, we can put out a few bangers, a few sales arguments, a few offers out there, build an outreach team, do that good stuff, or put ads behind Facebook or Instagram or TikTok. And we can make money. We can make more money than we would know what to even do. We can make so much money that it's like we forget that we even know how to make money. But what they don't understand is that you can't get today back, man. And not only that, it's like, why would you waste 3 months of living because you're trying to figure out yourself? Do you know how 3 months with $1 million in the bank feels like?
They won't know.
They won't know because they're trying to they're literally giving away 3 months trying to learn how to make a mill when they could like learn how to make a mill in a month and spend at least another 60 days with $1 million in the bank. You know, although that's I'm exaggerating, but it's like for me that's my thought process. It's like I'd rather get rid of all the money that I have, become good at something, like become efficient at being fast at creating the value that I want. Because I was at this mastermind, you know, that's why I'm in Miami. And there's this guy who said that, you know, making $1 million a year and $1 million a month is the same fucking thing. The only difference is the timeline. But like, and you know, it might seem like it makes sense what you just said. But no, it's like it's way deeper than what you guys just heard. It's like all I'm saying is that if you actually look at how long, because you know with my business I just hit $1 million in sales on Stripe, and I was like I could figure out a way to repeat every activity that I did in the last year and do it in a month. And that's what people do. Like if Bezos is making a few billions, I learned that they did 460 billion last year. And I'm like, you know, that's almost $1 billion a day. I mean, that's $1 billion a day, technically,
that's
or
over
more.
$1 billion a day.
That's over $1 billion a day. But like that guy has optimized so much that he's able to build an infrastructure that can create so much value at a crazy throughput, like velocity.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, if of course I'm not going to learn how to create a 400 billion a year, but I can make $1 million, figure out how to, you know, cut down the timeline that it took me to create that and just see success faster. Because I tell this to a lot of, you know, my clients. It's like the goal is to get rich fast. A lot of people, you know, they hate people who are trying to sell them get rich quick thing. But it's like, why would you want to get rich? Why would you want to get rich slow?
Why would you choose another option? Why would you intentionally want to get rich slow?
I mean, stupid people say that because you know, like when you're trying to sell something, you kind of have to make the other side look bad. So like if let's say you know, let's say someone who's a guru, but they're critiquing other guru, they're gonna be like, oh, I don't want to sell you something to get you rich quick. So I'll critique the get rich quick thing argument and say that, hey, you should think long term. You should do this. It's like, yeah, bro, it's cool. I'll take actions today to think long term, but I don't want to be a millionaire when I'm 30.
No, when you can do it when you're
right?
23. Why not? Like, and I think people are afraid to want that. It's almost like frowned upon to want to achieve things early. Like there's so many sources. Slow down. You have time. I mean, yeah, but I mean, I want to spend my time differently when I'm at that age.
Right.
Why can't I just want things like now?
Yeah.
In these years, like, that definitely shouldn't be a bad thing.
100%, 100%. And the thing is, you can have it all. You can have it now and still have the, you can have the things you want. You can get rich now and still be pushing in business really hard, because one of the things that I like to keep in mind is I don't want to just all be about business. Oh, I'm the best at this. It's like, no, I want to actually be human. I want to have so much more about my character and my person that it's not, I want to be great in business, but I also want to live an amazing life. So when I'm building this business, my goal is to get it past 8 figures. I've stopped delaying living, because most people are like, you know what? I'll work today. I'll work for this year. I will not party. I will not buy a nice car. I will not go to Miami. I will sleep at 9 p.m. I will not talk to this girl. I will not drink wine. And they literally sacrifice a year of their life, maybe 2, maybe 5, maybe 10, maybe 20, trying to see success. And sometimes they don't even fucking achieve it.
It's like, why did I even?
Right? But like even check this out. It's like, but let's say they even do achieve it.
Yeah.
And it took them 10 years. I think Hormozy was saying this, but it's like, if they put me at like 40 and they gave me like $50 million, right? He was like, I would trade that 50 million to go back to when I was 23.
Yeah, I saw that.
You see? So for me, I've stopped delaying success, or I've stopped delaying living. And, I'm not saying that I don't even party much. I don't even party really. But, I recently got a nice car because I was like, why do I have to wait until I have so much money that then the car doesn't represent a big percentage? I was like, I'd rather get the car and figure out a way to make $100,000 a day instead of worrying about buying $100,000 car. So I was like, let me get it. Let me not put anything on a pedestal. Let me just have everything now so that I can actually build from a place of abundance and a place of where I don't need anything. I don't need to make money anymore. I mean, once you pass making like 50K, 100K a month, especially when it's profit, there are 2 types of people. There are the type of people who get there and they stay there, right? Because they're content, and most of the time those people don't even last in business. They just get they just they get beaten out of their position. Like, you can either get there, stay there, be content, and then go out of business in a year or 2, or you get there and you just like, what, I have my life set up, I have everything I want, but now I want to be the best. Now I want to go 10x and just create value for other people. And, for me, that's what I want to do. I don't want to build because I want a nice watch. I don't want to build because I want a Lambo. It's like, if I want a Lambo, I'll go get it this weekend. But I don't want it. I don't want to build because I want materialistic stuff or because I want to fly out. You know how people work like their jobs and then they just wait once, their vacation once a year? It's like, are you serious?
And that's a common theme.
Oh,
People who've achieved success in their life, the only sort of regret that they usually admit to is, I wish I was younger. Like, I would live a bit more. I would enjoy a bit more on the journey.
Yeah.
So that's really good why delay so much? It sort of takes away from the actual process.
Yeah, most people don't understand that, like, success is actually, like, being able to enjoy your present moment.
Exactly.
Like, it's, like, because I get at a point, because, like, we can go a little bit over my journey, but it's like, when you're starting out, right? So, I quit school in 2018. I was in an admin program at school, at college, and well, I ended up just leaving because, I didn't leave. I just the session ended, and then it was like the holidays. But I never went back because I got an opportunity to go into door-to-door sales.
Yeah.
And I was like, I saw this guy, driving a Porsche, at 23, making like so much money, man, right? And I was like, yeah, you know,
That's what I want.
yeah. I mean, I've seen my teachers what they look like. They're not driving a Porsche
No.
23. So like, which school should I pick? I was like, yeah, I'd rather go to, knock some doors, And in Montreal, it's pretty cold, right? So I did that, and I never went back to school, and I just ended up getting a few 9-to-5s, right? And I've always just wanted, when you get in the environment of people who are making a lot of money, you end up, starting to read books, you starting to learn the habits of successful people, and you start doing it, right? Started reading a lot, started joining some network marketing companies, and the sales thing didn't work out because we were literally like scamming people, selling them $4,000 products for like 10 grand, and then you put it over, 10% interest a year for 10 years. That's literally double what it's like double the price of 10K, right? So they end up paying a whole bunch more. So I was like, yeah, I'm not going to scam people. So I decided to go get a 9-to-5, started working, was making like $2,000 a month, worked a bunch of stuff, cold calling, customer service, all that good stuff was amazing. I liked it. I think it has made me who I am, especially when it comes to dealing with customers. Like I know people, so it's pretty easy. So, but my point is, I ended up wanting to see success, right? So I ended up quitting 2020, right? And I was like, yo, I really want this. And literally having this 30K a year job is costing me 30K a month. Because most people don't understand that, like, if you're currently making 50 grand, 100 grand, even 500 grand a year, that same money that you're making, it's actually costing you your potential.
Yeah.
Right? So if you don't decide to like let go of what you're, burn a thing, like get rid of $500,000 a year because you want $5 million a year, you'll never get to 10 times that, right? Because you can't have this and then also have that. It doesn't work, right? So ended up using that logic to rationalizing me quitting, and did quit. And then when I started, I was like, yo, I want this. I want to start making 10K a month. Month 1, month 2, month 3, month 4, month 5. Still had not hit 10K a month, but I wanted it, man. I used to go on walks every morning, like at a park near my place, and I had recorded like a voice note, and I used to play it. And I was like, I make 10K a month by October 2020.
Dude, stuff like that is huge.
Yeah.
You're literally telling yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I did the same thing. Like, I still have I've re-recorded it a couple of times, but like I still do that to this day. Like I have affirmations that I listen to where I just play it back. Like,
yeah, they're great. They're great.
It's literally like folding up your old
it's reality,
and building a new one.
Yeah.
You're telling yourself what your reality is. Stuff like
100%. Yeah. Oh yeah. Huge
like,
stuff.
What you tell yourself is huge. Like
it's everything.
I just pay attention to what people. I do this for myself too, but I listen just as I'm moving around throughout the day, like what people tell themselves, like, "Oh, dude, I'm so stupid," or "Oh man, I'm such a fuck up." Like that's literally what you're telling yourself.
Yeah.
Like you're going to believe that. Your subconscious, how it works, just what you feed it over time, is what you absorb.
Yeah.
You actually absorb all of this stuff. That's why. Like, you may have certain beliefs or you may operate certain ways and you don't even know why. Like, certain people, going to college, for example. You don't even know why you're going to college. I was in the exact same boat.
Yeah.
Like, why? Because that's something that was fed to you. And that's now what you accept
like
as reality because that's what was fed
what's meant to happen.
Yeah, and you just think like that. So, like, what you tell yourself is huge. I've even just beliefs and stuff like that. That's what helped me to rationalize dropping out. Like I was in freshman year of college. I'm like, dude, why am I here? Like, I immediately knew I didn't want to be there. Like my whole goal was I'd say right before college, I'm like, look, I do not want to be in college. So I was trying to figure out stuff. Like I was trying to launch my e-commerce business, which I thought was going to do pretty good. Like I think it had pretty, I had super high hopes for it. I had 4 different jobs just to support that. 2 sales jobs, had like a little side hustle where I was like delivering mail and stuff. What else was I doing? 2 sales jobs. One was at Walmart, the dish. Like, you know, the people, like, they're standing in the back of Walmart and they're, hey, who's your internet provider? I was doing that. And, you know, another sales job and had another, regardless. So my whole goal was to, okay, let's make this e-commerce work so I don't have to go that route of college, because it would just create an environment where I don't have to, basically. So I knew going in I didn't want to be there. So once I got there, I'm like, okay, how can I get out of here? And I was just using all my money that I had saved up to pay people to do my homework so I can just sit in the library and read books. And I was eating Grant Cardone. Like, I was eat, sleep, drink Grant Cardone, because what the stuff he was talking about were all of these methodologies and principles from other successful people. Yeah. So I'm just soaking up all this stuff. Like, wow, I really don't need to be here. And similar to what you said, this $30K a year job is literally keeping me from doing $30K a month or $30K a day. And I'm thinking, look, I'm only here because my parents want me to be here. I had a full ride scholarship, so I thought, okay, I should just at least play this out a little bit. And then I'm like, no. And then I realized it was some podcast I was listening to. What you're clinging on to right now is keeping you away from what you actually want. It was something like that. Yeah. Basically, that methodology, what you just said, like, wow, me staying here in college is basically just a backup. Like, at least if my business doesn't work, okay, I'm in college, right? And I'm like, that's a terrible principle to live by. So left, and
we're doing all right. Done there. Yeah. One thing, before I go back to what I was saying, one thing with school is, if you're watching this video and you're going to school, let's say you just finished college and you're going to university, like, please take a break from school and go to the marketplace and actually work. Because what most people don't understand is that until you start working a job, you don't understand how life works. You don't understand anything about like how to actually, like, how society works. And not only that, you don't actually end up building any skill set. Like, I know a lot of people are smart, but like, they don't know that you need to actually show up, work, go home, show up the next day, work. Like, there is a certain, like, tempo to life that you need to actually be successful, right? So, and I see this in so many online people, like, who are trying to start agencies and consulting businesses and ecom businesses, or really any type of business, where they have no work experience. So they have no structure to their life. They literally have, like, they just think that, oh, I'm gonna wake up at 9, I'm gonna meditate, and then I'm gonna write my goals down, and then I'm gonna just, look at a YouTube video from Serge, and then I'm going to go hire a virtual assistant, and then that virtual assistant is going to make me millions. It does not work like that. It does not work like that. Or they don't even understand why someone else would pay them to do something. So for me, one of the best things that I've done before wanting to start a business is actually have jobs, like, put in the work, man. And I actually loved it, because I'm I like working with people. I like people. I think work is like another, like, social, like, it's just like school. Like, you meet a lot of cool people. You get to build new friendships. And for me, that's why I stayed at my last job for more than 2 years, because I liked the people that I was working with. Like, it didn't seem like a job. We have this tendency of, like, critiquing 9 to 5, but to be honest, like, if you're chilling, 9 to 5 is great. If you have cool people, cool friends, you guys hang out together, maybe have beautiful colleagues. That's a vibe.
See, I don't know.
I
wish that was the situation for me. Like, it was just painful being at my job, jobs, just because, like, look, this is not what I want. Yeah. Like, yeah, these people are awesome. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. It was more, it wasn't like I hate being here, because I was actively working towards what I did want as my reality. It was more motivational, because I'm seeing what real companies look like. I'm like, I want one. Why am I inside of someone else's thing? I want to build my own. And it was just more motivating me to go out and build my own, basically.
Yeah.
So it was awesome. I'm not gonna say I hated life or anything like that. It was, a lot of it was painful, but you know, it was
Yeah.
good pain,
But-
like growth pain.
One thing is though is like it also depends on the jobs that you're doing. You know, like
Yeah,
I was
that is
for me.
fair.
For me,
That
it's
is
like
fair.
my last job was pretty cool. You know, just I was like leading a customer service team, and you know, just computer. It was an amazing environment. It was like a startup vibe where we just had beanbags everywhere, just chilling.
Okay.
So it's like, yeah, I was just having it's a good time, right? But one thing you just said is about like seeing someone else build something and you know asking yourself why not you, right? The last company that I worked at is I looked at because they're guys who killed it. They started like a meal kit company, in like 5 years scaled it to like 400 million a year, right?
Wow.
And it was during the
That's where
pandemic.
you were working at?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So yeah, I asked the CEO like, hey, what is the number one advice that you can give someone? He was like, yo, you gotta be naive enough to believe that your dreams, like anything, is possible.
Wow. That's some advice.
That's bro, like, ooh, I should have put that on my back too.
That's
I might
huge.
have to put like so huge, man. So huge.
Those are the people who actually build what they want, because of there's every force working against you to keep you from building what you want.
Yeah.
Listening to other people, looking at other small thinkers. Like there's every reason to go with the flow and not build what you actually want.
Yeah.
But if you're naive enough to believe, look, this big picture I have in my head is actually possible and I'm moving towards that.
Yeah.
That's huge.
It's huge, man. And it
huge.
just helped me, like, you know, I mean, it helped me leave his company. I was naive enough to believe that I can do it. And I guess it worked out. But, you know, in life, guys, like you have to kind of like not be, you know, too smart, because being too smart also ends up hurting you. So, you know, if you're not where you need to be, then you shouldn't even look for security. You're not where you should be. Why are you afraid to take a risk? Why? What are you afraid of losing? You're afraid of losing something that you don't want? It's like literally madness, man. And we get into this routine and we forget about we're meant to live, guys. You're not meant to work just to eat. Like that's like, you know, if we're a hunter gatherers, like cool, whatever. We're dumb, you know.
Times are way different.
You know, like today it's like, oh my god, you have Google, man. Google is free.
You can literally know anything.
You can become an astronaut tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, but
No,
you could
but
start.
You could
learn the basics,
You
especially.
could be well on your way.
but like, you know, like it's like, guys, we're past the time of lack. You know, right now it's just if you're not courageous, disciplined enough to actually know what you want, and know that you need to, like, you know, lose a few good times, comfortable times of just doing nothing, or watching Netflix, or, you know, just hanging out with your friends. If you can stay locked in your room, if you're still at your parents, or in your condo, if you're, you know, like me, where you're just there yourself and you're just sitting there, maybe with a nice view, just grinding. If you're not willing to do that, then understand that, like, you're just gonna settle for the, you know, the basics of life, you know. So for me, I've just, you know, set out a goal to, like, I wanna experience life to its fullest, man.
Yeah.
Because some people are doing it. Like, why am I not doing it? You know?
Why not? That's what we're here for. We're here to live life to the fullest in all areas.
Yeah.
That's what we're supposed to do. I think it's a book called The Science of Getting Rich. I think I read that.
Yeah.
I think that's literally what it's called. But no, I read that book, and one of the lines is, I mean, just as humans, we're supposed to experience life to the fullest in all areas.
Yeah.
There's so many people with a negative belief attached to accumulating wealth. And it's like, why? You're supposed to have that.
Yeah.
Literally. How are you going to do what you like to do for fun and go where you want to go whenever and talk to whoever you want whenever and all of these different things if you are not wealthy?
Yeah.
Like, you need to acquire wealth to be able to live life to the fullest.
Yeah. One thing I was talking with a few clients of ours on a consulting call is that most people don't actually understand what money is.
Yeah.
So I'll maybe give you guys a little description of what money is. I'm not explaining it as well as I would want it to be explained, but I'll do my best. But money is essentially, it's like a store of time and energy, right? So whoever whoever has the most amount of money has the most amount of time and energy, right? So it's like a store of everything that you would have to do in order to get what you want. An example, right now I drive a 663S AMG, right? But if I wanted to build that car myself, do you know how many lifetimes I would have to spend to become good at building such a car? I would die probably like a few times before I figure out how to build it, right? But guess what? I figured out a way to go to the marketplace, collect enough time, energy through capital, and then I can go use this capital to go and buy someone else's time, someone else's energy, so that they can build that car for me. So when you're complaining about money, what you're saying is you like to do everything yourself and you like to waste your life doing shit that someone else could be doing for you. So technically, if you don't like to be wealthy, if you don't like to be rich, well, you must have you must be deluded. You must be delusional, right? So it's like, just do your best, become good at acquisition, become good at creating offers, become great at serving the market, become good at operation, scale your constraints, remove them, and then just serve people. Let them give you the money, give them what they want, and then collect a whole bunch of pile of cash, and then maybe invest it so you can create a more value. But this cash that you have is for you to do anything you want, when you want it, with who you want, and for who you want, really. It's like, that's what life should be. Life should not be meant to, I'm only going to work, 40 hours a week, and then I'm going to get this paycheck, and then I'm going to pay rent, and then I might, pay for gas. The prices are up, so I might have to pay less gas. I might have to take the bus. And then when I take the bus, might not be able to make it to the movies because the movies end at 10 p.m. The door closes at 11:30, so I live far.
That is more comfortable to people than figuring out how to replace that reality with something better.
Yeah. But
that's more comfortable to people. They'd rather attach to that because it's easier.
I don't think they're comfortable. They're just not aware of what's possible, which is why we're doing this podcast. To show them that there is a different reality, right?
It's comfort kills. Because even if you do know, there's a ton of people who know, oh man, me working this job, I'm not going to be able to get that Bentley I want to be driving right now. But I'm also not actively doing anything to work towards that.
Yeah.
So it's more comfortable for them to just hate that. I really hate that I'm not able to drive this Bentley. Let me figure out how I can versus, you know what? It's okay. I'm going through the process. I just can't buy those extra Starbucks this week, to keep my current situation. That's more comfortable than just feeling bad, trying to figure out how to make the other side, driving the Bentley, a reality.
Yeah.
And that's, just being uncomfortable, going towards that discomfort is how you break through bad circumstances, being somewhere you don't want to be.
Yeah.
Me, literally just thinking back to me personally, I was just uncomfortable all the time. I just got comfortable with feeling uncomfortable because you think so big, you want so much, and you compare that to what you see.
Yeah.
Why would I want to just be happy with what is going on right now? Yeah, of course I can enjoy myself, this, that, the third, but I'm trying to figure out how to get out of this situation. Why am I here? I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
Instead of
you don't
being comfortable and you know, everyone says I should just go to college. I'll make everyone happy and just go. Like, you know,
Yeah, it's crazy. I know.
some people.
A kid messaged me the other day on Instagram. He was like, you know, my parents are like, you know, if you don't go to school, we're gonna kick you out, or you know, something along those lines. And he's like, yo, I gotta go to school, just to make them, you know, make sure that they're happy and that you know maybe they're proud of me. And I was like, are you seriously gonna sacrifice your one life to make your parents proud? And do you not realize that your parents don't care about what you do as long as you do something great?
Yeah.
Like it has nothing. I mean, your parents, what you have to understand is that your parents are also a bit unaware of what's possible out there, unless it's Jeff Bezos.
Unless they have it.
Exactly,
They're
right? Like,
operating
unless
from a small thinking
right?
perspective.
Unless
already.
your dad is Elon Musk, maybe pay attention to Elon. But like if
Other
your
than
dad
that, like-
and mom is like, you know, average, is like guys, that you could do better than them and you can actually teach them what's possible. You know?
That's huge. Like,
So-
and that's what changed my perspective, because I felt guilt for not wanting to go to college. I'm like, you know, my late mother, she went to, you know, the school that I went to. So I'm like, look, that would be doing a service to my family. That would look good. That would make her proud if I went there, right? So it felt almost guilty to not want to go there. But then I'm like, in reality, they're not able to fathom what I know is possible and what I want to achieve for my life.
Yeah.
So if I'm viewing this super big picture and they're only able to see this small section right here, and that's where they're operating from when it comes to advice for me, why would I pay attention to that? I'm thinking about this big circle and someone is thinking from this small circle.
Yeah.
You're obviously going to have a certain perspective on things.
You know, you're having someone else dictate like your level of what's possible, you know? And it's like, why would you let someone else who don't know nothing like dictate what you're able to achieve? And for me, I've always not taken advice from someone who's not living the life that I want to live, you know? Even like my family, it's like, you know, great, like, hey, I know you guys love me, I know you guys want me to go to school, I know you guys, you know, would love me to, you know, maybe become a lawyer or some shit like that, but like, I know how to make 30K a day, boys. It's like, what you want me to go be a lawyer, work like a
They're
slave?
not doing 30,000 a day.
They're not, right? And like, what do you guys prefer? Do you want me to go to school so you guys can be happy that I have a paper and, you know, make 6 figures a year? Or would you like me to fly you guys all out to Italy or to Miami so we can have a nice weekend and, you know, do whatever, not have to worry about cash flow? Like, which one do you want? Or, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And
but some people, the funny thing is, some people would pick the lawyer degree over this 30K a day business.
Because it's more,
Prestigious. There's more prestige and there's more status.
and there's more comfort in that. They know that they're not going to have to go through this period of
Uncertainty.
Unknown.
Yeah.
uncertainty. That's less painful to them, is, you know, being a lawyer with a cap amount of money you can make,
Yeah.
working a bunch of hours versus the unknown, you know, whatever. But, you know, that even just ties into the point, like, your parents only know so much. They only can fathom so much is possible. Else, not to say they would be living it if they knew it was possible. Some people do know it's possible and aren't living it, but they're operating from a different time frame, a different era, a different perspective altogether. So don't be upset when you don't have support. Like, that was a huge thing to other people like my age. Like, obviously and I didn't really care too much, like, not having people around who understand or support it. I already knew that they aren't able to fathom what I know is possible. So it doesn't even matter if they don't support it. They don't even see what I see. Like, there's a quote, your ideas, your goals are for you. That's why you see it. It's literally in your head.
Yeah.
It's your imagination. That's That's why if someone else doesn't see it, you can't be mad at them because that was given to you to make a reality, not someone else.
100%.
Why they can't see it.
Yeah. And, there's levels to this thing, I was at this mastermind where, a guy launched an offer, like in March 2022. And, last month, I think he did like 2.8 million.
Wow.
So it's like, it's like that, like if you tell that to your family, like they might be like, yeah, whatever, that's probably fake. It's like, yeah, or they just won't believe it. Right. But it's like, for me, when I see that that's possible, I'm like, hey man, like 6 figures a month is like under like minimum wage now. So I'm like, I might have to like get a second job. 100K months is not it. I'm like 2.8 mil, bro.
It's just the way we're rapidly growing today. Like, if you're not thinking big enough, say goodbye. Like, you're complaining about gas prices, say goodbye. You should be thinking way bigger. Like, I forgot what I was going to say, but.
Yeah, but no, man. But like, life is so guys, get around people who are doing more. Get around people, please. Like, if you have to move to Miami, I might have to move. I might have, maybe get a condo here in Miami. But like, get around people doing bigger things, who have bigger visions, who just aspire to be great. And I promise you, it's gonna rub off on you, and then you're gonna start doing shit that like you never thought you could achieve. It's like, whoa. Right?
I didn't know I could get this big. Goldfish only get so big because they're in a small little thing.
Yeah.
You put them in the ocean, who knows how big they can get. Like, that's why just who you surround, like, you hang in the, what does Steve Harvey say? You hang in the barbershop long enough, you're going to get a haircut eventually. Like, you just have to, that's how we operate. Your subconscious mind, it's how it works. It absorbs what's constantly thrown at it. So if you're around, you change your environment, now you're around different input. You change your input, you change your output. Yeah. I mean, you're absorbing stuff. When I was first in college, like, what you're saying is huge. What you can see is possible changes your mind, like your whole mindset.
Yeah.
You operate from a different perspective. Now you feel guilty for doing what you were doing before, because I know what's possible. There's no excuse for me to be thinking like this, for me to be acting like this. Mm-hmm. Hopefully, right? Because you now know what's possible.
Yeah.
So like when I was in college, one of the biggest things for me was there were no people who wanted to get out of this system. Like every single person in my college, partying every day. Okay, let me hurry up and do my homework, and then let me hurry up and rinse and repeat tomorrow.
Yeah.
Why do you want to live like that? I know what's possible. So obviously I don't want to do the stuff that keeps me away from that. Like, I don't want to be a part of that. So every single day I was in the library, literally every single, even on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, I lived in the library, consuming everything there was to consume to change my reality. And what made it difficult was just not having like-minded people to talk to or like-minded people to bounce ideas off of. Yeah. But I'm like, look, I'd rather be by myself 24/7 than be around people with a lower way of thinking, because who you're around affects how you think, how you believe, how you talk, how you act.
Yeah.
So I'd rather be by myself, because then at least if I'm watching a YouTube video with, listening to someone, at least that's my input versus some person talking about the gas prices. Like, I don't care, dude. Like,
yeah.
We're thinking about how to change my net worth to the big B's. I'm not worried about your fucking gas prices. I'm not even thinking about that. Yeah. So just being in college, I'm like, look, there's no one who wants better. Like, all of you just want to go get a job and this, that, the third. So just knowing what's possible, and even just this podcast, like, this is going to change someone's mind, because, oh, wow, you're doing that. Mm-hmm. Like me 3, 4, 5 years ago, I wanted to have a successful e-commerce business.
Yeah.
I have ownership in 3 now, which is incredible. 2 of which are 7-figure brands, which is awesome. Yeah. Like 4 years ago, I was trying to figure out how can I get a couple sales on my drop shipping store.
Yeah.
Right. So somebody else. I wish I saw someone who looked like me, who talked like me, saying, "Oh, dude, I own a couple e-com stores that are very successful, and I help other e-commerce brands to scale and make even more money."
Yeah.
If I would have heard someone around my age looking like me saying something like that, it would have completely changed my life.
Yeah.
What you're saying is super
100%.
powerful.
Yeah. No, guys, there's
You're
so
saying-
much. Yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's possible to live the life that you want. It's actually pretty easy. All you need is 1 year.
You just have to focus.
Just have to focus 1 year and you're good. But yeah, guys, we might have to shoot one tomorrow too again.
Why
This is
not?
good. I
This was
love
kind of
this.
rushed, and we came in
Pretty late, yeah. But yeah, guys, if you'd like to see more of this, just let us know. But thank you guys so much for watching this. Hopefully this was good. My name is Serge Gatari.
My name is
Aaron
Elijah
Klana.
Walker.
You want to go in? Let me finish this verse. Aaron Klana acquisition that I really love this mic. So nice. Because you hear your voice. This is the first time that I record a podcast. But yeah, I run cloneacquisition.io consultancy where we help agency owners, high ticket info businesses build their acquisition infrastructure and scale them a whole bunch of make them a whole bunch of more money. Yeah. There, go ahead.
I'm Elijah Walker. I run an agency. We build the best e-com brands. We come in, we make sure that you succeed. And I also play around. I also own a couple e-com stores.
Let's go.
Something like.
Something like. Let's go. Bye-bye.